Today on the show, we're going to be talking about the time Squirrel Girl defeated Galactus. So here's the setting for the comic. It stars Doreen Green, Squirrel Girl, and her powers are that she's a human and also a squirrel. But in reality, she has Spider-Man's powers, minus web slinging in exchange for an army of squirrels. Right at the beginning of the series, we find out that Doreen is going to college and she's majoring in computer science. So she's moving out the attic of the Avengers mansion, and her sidekick Tippy Toe is actually really annoyed that the Squirrel Girl is not majoring in squirrels. Because she's been living in the world of superheroes almost exclusively for so long, she struggles to find a balance of what normal people can do and what she can do with her superpowers, because obviously she has enhanced strength, enhanced durability, a whole range of things that normal people can't do. So on to our story. Our story begins with us seeing a squirrel coming to tell Tippy Toe to tell Squirrel Girl that while gazing through one of the forest observatories, it saw a colossal being headed towards Earth, and this colossal being is Galactus. So Doreen does the normal thing in this situation. Goes to college freshman orientation, and Tippy Toe isn't having any of it. So she pulls one of the cards out from Deadpool's Guide to Supervillain Accessories and shows Doreen what Galactus is traveling to Earth in. It's Galactus's star sphere, which looks weirdly like the Death Star. But it's not the Death Star, it's the Star Sphere. You have it wrong if you think it's the Death Star. But you may be wondering why no one else on Earth can see an object this huge headed towards the planet. Well, that's because it's got stealth mode on and Galactus forgot to make it work on squirrels. Doreen realizes she only has 2 hours to save the Earth, so she gets into her uniform, runs into the city, and realizes that the squirrel gig is not going to get her into space, so she has another idea. She's going to steal some of Iron Man's armor from Stark/Avengers Tower. Actually, I should correct myself there. She says she's going to borrow some, not steal. Borrow. Because, you know, if she asked, Iron Man would totally be like, yeah, you can borrow some because I really like you, Squirrel Girl, that time you defeated Dr. Doom in the 90s. She actually makes it all the way to the Hall of Armor, but this is when security comes and kicks her out. But because security was so focused on the girl, they didn't notice the army of squirrels stealing Iron Man's armor. Squirrel Girl puts on the armor, does an Iron Man impression to make it start responding to her, and it builds itself to be perfect for a Squirrel Girl. And this is when she begins flying into space with Tippy Toe, who has like a tiny little squirrel Iron Man suit. It's really cute. On her way into space, she ends up getting attacked by Whiplash, and she tries explaining that she doesn't really have time for this, but Whiplash isn't going to listen to her, so she tries getting one of her cards out to say, this is who I'm going to fight, I don't have time for you. But he still isn't listening to her, destroys her card, and this is when it's on, and she uses her squirrel army to take Whiplash down. And then she gets distracted stopping a bank robbery, and then she can finally make it into space, but now her suit doesn't have enough fuel to get to the moon. So this is when she steals another suit from Iron Man, this time one with orbital mechanics, goes to the moon and demands that Galactus meet with her face to face. So the next issue actually starts out with Galactus just passed out on the floor and Doreen just sitting on him. And this is important because it confirms that humans see Galactus as another human. Squirrels see Galactus as a giant dog, so every species sees Galactus as something different. So Squirrel Girl begins talking to Galactus, and this is when it's revealed that Galactus can understand squirrels, and Squirrel Girl is like, so what is going on here? Explain this situation to me. And Galactus explains that normally he would send a herald to Earth, but because all of his heralds didn't do that good of a job, like the Silver Surfer, he sort of made all of the sky turn into rocks, and it just made it very obvious that Galactus was coming, so everyone could prepare for him, and he didn't really like that the last time, so this time he just decided to turn up. But as the conversation goes on, Squirrel Girl ends up revealing that one time she defeated Thanos, and then Galactus calls Thanos a tool and decides that he likes Squirrel Girl because she was able to defeat that tool single-handedly. But then he goes to eat Earth anyway, so that's a thing. Squirrel Girl jumps into Galactus' ship, plays on his computer for a bit, and then calls Galactus out on something. She says that every time Galactus comes to Earth, everyone on the planet stops what they're doing just to find Galactus an alternative planet with a lot of life energy so he won't come for Earth. Meaning every time Galactus comes to Earth, it's sort of like his equivalent of ordering in. So Squirrel Girl has found Galactus a planet with no living beings on it, and it's full of nuts. And nuts are calories or life energy. They all go to the planet and all three of them overeat. They overeat so much that on their way back they actually stop on the moon just to have a bit of a lie down, and then Doreen says she wants to go home, but before she does, Galactus gives her a card, and on this card it says that if she ever wants to get into heralding, to give him a call, which is really, really nice. Squirrel Girl is able to go back to Earth, make it to a college class, and this is where the story ends. I love this story. Obviously this is a very simple version of this story, but it's so family friendly, and when you think Squirrel Girl versus Galactus, you wouldn't think she would defeat him by overfeeding him with nuts, but no, that's exactly what she did, and it's brilliant, and I love it so much. Each panel in this comic has a joke. I can't emphasize that enough. So if you want to read this comic, I put links down below to MyComicShop.com because I have not even scratched the surface of this comic. It's so hilarious. While reading one of these issues, I remember I had to just put it down because I was laughing for 10 minutes and I couldn't read through the tears. This comic is literally for everyone. Everyone's gonna find this funny. I haven't found a single person with a sense of humor that doesn't enjoy this comic. Okay guys, that is it for today. So what did you think of this story? Please let me know in the comments down below. And also don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more history videos. And also don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, support the show by checking out my Patreon if you want to see bigger and better and more history videos. And also don't forget to subscribe to my vlogging channel if you'd like to start a day with me every single day. My name is Faust, this has been Exploring Comics, and it is super effective.